Hands-on with the Google Pixel 9a, a budget phone that delivers big. Well, here we go again. Just like clockwork, the leaks were spot on. I recently spent some hands-on time with the Pixel 9a, Google's newest budget-friendly device, and there's a lot to unpack. Some things I absolutely love, while others leave me a little puzzled. Let's start with the biggest win: the price. Google is keeping the Pixel 9a at $499, just like last year's Pixel 8a. In an era where prices on everything, groceries, gas, even streaming subscriptions keep creeping up, it's refreshing to see Google hold the line. No inflation excuses, no sudden markups, just a solid mid-range phone for the same price. That alone feels like a small victory. Now, about the design. This is where things get a little tricky. On one hand, I feel underwhelmed. The Pixel 9a has dialed back some of the bold design elements that made recent Pixels so recognizable. The iconic camera bar, which gave the Pixel series a unique identity, now feels toned down. It's not a bad-looking phone by any means, but it leans towards safe rather than striking. But then I flipped it over and my opinion shifted. There's no camera bump. None. None. Not a subtle ridge, not a tiny protrusion, just a completely flat back. For years, we've been asking phone makers to get rid of wobbly camera humps, saying, just make the phone thicker and add a bigger battery. Well, Google actually listened. The Pixel 9a is 8.9 millimeters thick and packs a massive 100 mAh battery, the biggest ever in a Pixel, even beating the flagship 9 Pro XL. That's a trade-off I can absolutely get behind. A thicker phone with no annoying wobble and battery life that might stretch into 2 days? Yes, please. That battery alone is a huge selling point. The Pixel 9a sticks to what makes Pixel phones great: Google's AI smarts, Magic Eraser, call screening, and all the usual software perks, but now pairs them with a battery that might outlast its pricier siblings. However, there's a bit of a mystery here. Google has put an odd embargo on software demos. No live feature tests, no real-world AI showcases, just home screens and lock screens. That raises some questions. What are they hiding? That said, my off-camera time with the phone didn't reveal anything particularly concerning. Under the hood, the Pixel 9a keeps things familiar. It's powered by the Tensor G4 chip, just like the flagship Pixel 9 series, with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. The 6.3-inch display has a hole-punch camera and an in-display fingerprint sensor. The build quality feels solid, flat aluminum sides with a plastic back instead of glass. If you use a case, you won't even notice. And for those who care about durability, it's now rated IP68 for dust and water resistance, an improvement over the 8a's IP67 rating. Compared to last year, the Pixel 9a makes a stronger argument for itself. When the 8a launched at $499, the Pixel 8 was frequently discounted to around $550, making the budget model a tough sell. This time, Google has widened the gap. The Pixel 9a doesn't cut as many corners, it's closer to flagship level, while the Pixel 9 starts at $799.
The Pixel 9 starts at $799, though discounts have already dropped it to about $649. The 9a's 120Hz display defaulted to 60Hz, so be sure to change that setting is nearly as good as the flagships. With only slightly lower contrast and Gorilla Glass 3 instead of Victus 2. It also retains the Pixel software perks and promises 7 years of updates, wireless charging. Still here, though slower than the flagship models, cameras. A solid 4.8MP main sensor and a 1.3MP ultrawide with night sight support. Think of it this way, the Pixel 9a is essentially a Pixel 9 with a slightly downgraded camera system, a plastic back, and a much bigger battery, all for $300 less. For most users, that's a no-brainer. Are you really going to stress over the plastic back or slightly slower charging when you're getting this kind of battery life at this price? Probably not. Color options are also a nice touch. Alongside the standard black and white, you get Peony a soft pink and Iris a unique purple blue that easily stands out. Availability starts soon, and at $499, it's hitting a perfect balance of price and value. But here's the thing, Pixel 10 rumors are already starting to surface. If this speculation is true, the Tensor G5 could bring a major performance leap, finally closing the gap with Snapdragon-powered competitors. If you're someone who always wants the latest and greatest, waiting might not be a bad idea. Then again, it's easy to get caught up in the what's next cycle when the 9A is already here, offering a solid experience. For now, the Pixel 9a is stepping into a competitive market with confidence. Google has done a great job balancing features, performance, and affordability. If you need a reliable phone with Pixel perks and a battery that just won't quit, this is the one to grab. No need to overthink it, just enjoy. Peace out.